Yes, so good evening, everyone. This is the second session in the series of talks on stock market, investing in stock markets, and we'll just take a recap of what we discussed in the earlier session. So the earlier session was is investing to stocks part one, where we discussed about a brainchild called Wipico Private Limited, and we walked with it through its steps from starting small, getting going into a scale company, and then going big, the IPO process. Okay, we looked at it. Let's just take a recap of what we discussed. Okay, uh, yeah. Okay. So initially, what Vinyasa did with this startup is he invested 1 lakh of capital, and he issued himself 1 lakh shares. So he at this point he had 100% of the ownership in the company. And later, as he got more and more orders, he wanted to expand. Okay, and for that he needed about 10 lakhs of capital. Okay, and an investor, Subba, a friend of uh, Vinyasa, pitched in, and he offered this 10 lakh of capital. And in return, Vinyasa planned to sell 20% of the ownership in the company. Okay. Now, Vinyasa has 80% of ownership and Subba has 20% of ownership. So, Subba purchased this 20% of ownership in the company by investing 10 lakh of capital. Okay. And later on, what we saw is this company became big, and the company wanted to expand pan India. So they wanted a huge capital of about 3 crores, and that is when the IPO process comes in, and this company plans to raise this capital of 3 crores from the public. Okay, what they did is they issued 30% of the stake, or 30,000 shares of Wipico Private Limited to the public, and each share costed rupees 1,000 rupees. So this is called initial public offering, and that's how the stock got listed in the stock exchange. Okay, so this is the process this is the process till now. So this is one thing to notice. This is overly simplified. Okay, there are so many steps in between. There is something called SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, that comes in. It's a autonomous body that controls all the stock market related activities in India. Okay, that comes into picture, and then there is something called investment bank. Okay, those things come into picture. But what I'm doing here is I'm trying to simplify it for beginners to understand how the overall process looks like. Okay, if you want to know in depth, you can read articles. Maybe there is a website called investopedia.com, or there are so many videos available in YouTube itself. You can go through that. But I thought this much basics is needed to understand what actually happens in stock markets. Okay. Okay. Coming back to this. So, okay, there was an error there in that slide. So slide number 11 is the right one. Yeah. So Vinyasa has 50,000 shares. That is 50% stake. Subba has 20% stake, and public has 30% stake. Okay. Now this 30%, 30,000 shares that are issued to the public, right? That's what is getting traded. Okay, in the stock exchanges. We have two main stock exchanges in India. One is BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, and other is NSE, National Stock Exchange, which gives platform for investors to liquidate their shares or buy and sell the shares. Okay, let's say I bought 10 shares of Wipico Limited today for 10,000 rupees, and after some time I want to uh, quit. Okay, or I want some money. Okay, so what I can do is I can sell this share to someone. Okay, So where do I get this someone? So that someone comes to share when share market. It is stock exchange, BSE or NSE. So I'll always find someone who is willing to buy this. Okay, and I can charge a little higher amount. Okay, if I bought it at 1,000 rupees, I can charge 1,200 rupees. Okay, after some time. Okay, and that deal has to take place. So the stock exchanges, so they take care of buying and selling. They handle the transaction of stocks. Okay, so that is on IPO. Okay, then we discussed about why would yeah when then we discussed why would public buy VPCO shares. Okay, and I listed three main reasons. One is VPCO may pay dividends in the future. Dividend is basically a part of the profit that is earned by the company. Uh, a part of it pays to the investors time to time. That is called dividend. Okay, the company uh, may not have to do it all the time. Okay, it is its own discretion. Okay, it may pay dividends or may not pay dividends. It's up to its own discretion. Second thing is Wipico has a potential to grow. Okay, and when the company grows, the demand for its shares or demand for the ownership of the company will rise. And as we all know, as the demand rises, the stock prices rise. Okay, this is not just in stock markets. You can find it in any other market. If there are if the demand for a particular goods is more, the price of the goods is also rises automatically. Okay, it's basically demand supply equation. What is called capital appreciation in stock markets. Okay, the third thing we discussed is the company may buy back its shares in the future. Okay, at some point in time when the company grows and become stabilized. Okay, Vinyasa may think I can get let's say 15% of the stake back from the public. Okay, that time Vinyasa can buy the shares back from the public. Okay, so at that time Vinyasa has to respect what the market value of the stock is, and that's another hope. Okay, these are the three main reasons why people buy VPCO shares. Okay, and then I pointed you guys to Netflix video. Uh, yeah, that is from 1 minute 31 seconds to around 3 minute 15 seconds. So they have explained it really well there. You can refer to that. And the link is in the PPT. It is in the YouTube, the earlier YouTube videos description. Okay, fine. So this is all what we had discussed in the last session. So if you have any questions, you can ask now. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, that I'm not quite sure whether we were able to bypass that brokerage for IPO. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that is a separate discussion altogether. So what happens is, yeah, to get into a stage of IPO, right, the company has to fulfill some criteria. Okay, and there is something called investment bank. The company has to approach an investment bank who analyzes the finances of the company and gives its shares a price. Okay, it says this company is worth so much, and we can for each share we can uh, we say that it so much is the price band. Okay, and the this investment bank itself takes it forward and advertises it to the public. Okay, and what happens is with the yeah, so the subscribing to this happens through okay, wait a second, I'm really sorry. Yeah, the subscription to this, one second, is someone, oh, Okay, wait a second. I have to admit Shashi. One second. Okay, he's here. Hello, Shashi, am I audible? Okay, okay. Yes, yeah, you came in at the right point. I was just briefing what we discussed. So yeah, Prasanna, so we can discuss about IPO process in detail. I don't have enough material to cover on that. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and start with today's material. First thing I'm going to discuss is how to analyze a company. Let's say, see, there are 5,000 companies listed in our stock, it's listed in BSC, Bombay Stock Exchange, and we are newbies here. Okay, if you are to invest, okay, if you are to purchase some shares of a company, we have to analyze whether the company has a potential to grow in future or how is the company doing. Okay, uh, so that is where these analysis comes in. Okay, there are two kinds of analysis which people usually talk about. One is called fundamental analysis, and another is called technical analysis. Okay, and what we are going to focus here in our discussions is fundamental analysis. Okay, so now going back to the slide here. So companies whose shares are traded in the stock exchanges, right? They have the obligation of reporting their financial statements periodically, once in a year, I mean monthly, quarterly, and annually. Okay, so what are these financial statements? Okay, these financial statements are the language of business. Okay, so financial statements say how I mean they say how the business is doing. Okay, whether the business, I mean, we can guess whether the business has a growth potential, and also we can see how efficient is the uh, business running. Okay, all of this just by looking at the trends in the financial statements, right? We can always guess. Okay, and that's what we are going to do in our next set of sessions, including this. Okay, and the third point is here is very important. So understanding financial statements is a must. Okay, if you are planning to invest in stocks. Okay, this statement is mostly overlooked by many people. They do not understand or do not even read financial statements. They just go ahead and invest, looking at what their friends are saying or what the so-called market experts within quotes are saying in the news channels or on YouTube or on online news portals. Okay. So what I suggest is we need to understand the financial statements of the company. We have to do our own research before pitching into anything. Okay. And along with that, we can look at the advices of others. Okay. Unless we do our own research, it's always a risky thing. Okay. So to do our own research, we need to understand what a business is, how a business is doing, and we need to know how to understand this financial statement. Okay. Now that I have talked too much about financial statements, so there are basically three financial statements a company releases annually. Okay. One is called the income statement. Second one is balance sheet, and third one is cash flow statement. Okay, so we are going to look at each of these in this and the coming set of lectures. So first one is income statement. Okay, so what is an income statement? So income statement is the report card of the company. Okay, for a definite period in time. An analogy I would like to apply here is our own marks card in our engineering semesters, right? In each semester, we used to get the report card. Okay. Income statement is something similar, uh, where it contains where it contains the report of the overall revenue that the company generated over that period in time, and the expenses incurred, and the net profit and loss data. Okay, it's nothing but what income statement is just trying to tell us is how much is the profit this company has done in a year or in a quarter. Okay, this is what a income statement tells us. Okay, so this is just an introduction to income statement. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at one of the we're basically going to construct an income statement, okay, for Vipico Limited. So before that, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, I assume there are no questions. So let's go back to slide number 15. So we are looking at the first point here today, the income statement. Okay, let me just quickly bring up. Okay, I think this won't be visible. Anyways, okay. I hope the Excel is visible. Just let me know if it is not visible now. Visible, right? Okay, good. So income statement is also called profit loss statement, statement of operations, statement of financial performance. So all these mean the same thing. Okay. So what does an income statement look like? Basically, it's basically a report of profit or loss, right? So income statement will have the period. Okay. This is for the year 2021 here. Uh, and how much is the revenue or sales? Okay. In our case, for the dairy startup that we are discussing, this is these numbers are in lakhs here. Okay, so revenue or sales. So this Vpico Limited has sold 70 lakh worth of goods or worth of dairy products. Okay, it means overall sales it has done is 70 lakhs. Okay, we are not counting any cost or manufacturing fee or anything here. It is the overall sales that it has done or overall revenue that this company has got. Okay, and the next one is cost. So cost indicates how much is the cost involved in generating this overall revenue of 70 lakhs. Okay, that cost is 50 lakhs here. So what is the overall profit? We just subtract, right? 70 minus 50. So that's the overall profit. So this is basically uh, overall idea of an income statement. So this is called single step income statement where we have revenue, cost, and profit. Just a single step. Revenue minus cost is your profit or loss. Okay. Any doubts here? Yes, yes. Sales is, oh, yeah, revenue or sales. It depends on uh, business to business, but they use both the terms, revenue or sales. Okay. In Vinyasa's case, it is the sales. Okay. He- Vinyasa has done, this company has done 70 lakh worth of sales. Okay. That is the total sales that the company has done. And then the next thing is cost. How much did how much money uh, costed, okay, to gain this 70 lakh worth of sales. Okay, that is a cost. For a simple example, uh, if the cost of a dairy product is 100 rupees, okay, and if this company manages to sell only one of these daily products in a quarter, so revenue or sales will be 100 rupees. Okay, then what is the cost? The cost would be the cost of the milk and cost of the processing plant and cost of the power, the electricity, and cost of the employees. All of this is included in the cost. Okay, if the dairy product I mean, the selling price is 100 rupees. The cost incurred itself is, let's say, 60 rupees. So profit is, in that case, will be 40 rupees, right? That's what it is. Yeah. So this is called single step income statement. Okay. This is very good, but what we want to know is how efficient is the company. Okay. This just tells revenue or sales and cost. Okay. It doesn't tell what is the breakup of this cost. Okay. How is the cost broke up between the employee cost or the machinery cost and things like that. So that is where comes the multi-step income statement. Okay. Yes. So, yes, here the same statement is written in another format. So, what we have here is a year. Okay, this is just 2021. Okay, and revenue is again 70 lakhs. So, next thing is in the cost, right? We have so many costs. So, we look at one after the another. So, from row number 21, we have the costs. Okay, first one is cost of goods sold, COGS or COGS. Okay, what is cost of goods sold? Let's say the milk product here, right? If it costs 100 rupees, okay, what is the cost of the ingredients of this product? Only the ingredients, the cost of goods sold. Okay, so what are the ingredients for this milk product? One is milk. Okay, second thing is whatever the added flavors. So these are the costs. Okay, so if he's making 70 lakhs of revenue, out of which 20 lakh is invested or put into these raw materials. So that is what is called cost of goods sold. Okay. Next comes selling general and administration, SG&A. It simply means the amount of money that the company has put in paying the salaries to the employees. One. Second thing is any transportation. Okay. Or advertisement. Okay. All of this is covered in selling general and administration, SG&A. Okay, it also includes the machinery cost, the cost of electricity. Okay, that the electricity bill that it pays, or the rent it pays for the plant and things like that. So all of this is included in SG&A, selling general and administration. Okay, next thing is depreciation and amortization. Okay, okay, to understand this we need to understand uh, let's understand with an analogy. Okay, what is depreciation and what is amortization? So both uh, are trying to mean the same thing. Okay, I'll give you an example. uh, okay, and let's see if we can understand depreciation. Let's say this company buys a laptop. Okay, and it let's say it costed 50,000 rupees. It costed 50,000 rupees, and the estimated lifetime of this laptop is 5 years. Okay, now what we can do is we can say every year uh, the cost of laptop is 10,000 rupees. So 10,000 into 5. Okay, it becomes, so if the estimate lifetime of the laptop is 5 years, every year we can say we have consumed 10,000 rupees worth of uh, service from the laptop. Okay, and this every year breakup is comes in depreciation. Okay, that is on depreciation. For amortization is similar to depreciation, except that it refers to intangible assets. Okay, there are two kinds of assets, tangible and intangible. Tangible is something that we can touch. Okay, and see, intangible is something that we cannot touch and see. It's basically intellectual property or a software and things like that. Okay, intangible. And tangible is something that we can touch. Example of tangible asset is one is laptop, okay, or a machinery, okay, and anything that helps us to generate the revenue, right? So that is a tangible asset. And intangible asset is like an software, okay, or an intellectual property, IP. Now, whatever we discuss for the laptop, right, that is a tangible asset, and the amount that we cut, we average for each year, that is depreciation. Similarly, for intangible assets like intellectual properties, so we can, let's say, I have an IP, and that is for 10 years. Okay, expiry of the IP is uh, 10 years. Okay, I have a patent. I have patented an IP, and the patent is expected to expire in 10 years. So each year I can say uh, I consume a part of that patented value of the patent. Let's say if the value of the patent is 1 lakh, and each year I can say 10,000 is spent from that patent IP. That is called amortization. Okay. So that's what is called depreciation amortization. In this company's case, it has 5 lakhs for this year. Okay. Which simply means if the company has got a machinery of let's say 25 lakhs, okay, and its lifetime it assumes to be 5 lakh 5 years. So each year it says 5 lakh of service it is using from its machinery. Okay, next year also it will appear in the books for the next 5 years, uh, 2021 till 25. You will see 5 lakhs in the in its books. Okay, I hope uh, this clears depreciation and amortization. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Yes, yes. What we do is in this case, let's say this machinery machines cost is 25 lakhs, and this company estimates the lifetime of the machinery to be 5 years. Okay, then each year we can say we are using 5 lakh worth of the value from the machinery. That is why we have put 5 lakhs here. Next year also we will have 5 lakhs, so it will go on for 5 years. Okay, if that is clear, it's good. Next thing is, yeah, yes, it's a part of expenses. Yeah, yes. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yes, yes, that data will be there. I have not included it here. There is something called exceptional items. Okay, so exceptional items, they can list. If something is broken, then they can just put it right away here. Yeah, at that point they'll have to, yeah, they'll have to put an entire amount. Yeah. Uh, no, no. I am not quite sure about that, but there is something called exceptional items. So I think they will include it in that particular year, but we can cross check. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Expiry date of the product. Okay. That, yes. So that, okay. I think that will not be here. Okay. I'm not quite sure where they show that. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Oh, okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. Yeah, that I'm not sure where they show it in the financial statements. Hmm, hmm, understood. Yeah. Hmm. I think they will, yeah, they will cover that in exceptional items only. Yeah, I will have to cross check that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. We can cross check. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, depreciation and hmm. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So ultimately, everything has to be accounted. Uh, but where they account it in the income statement, I'm not quite sure. I'm guessing it will be in exceptional items. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Y- Hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Got that. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. It's a loss. Yeah. 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 Correct. Yeah, that is why understanding the business model of the company is also important, along with the products. Yes. So we will speak about these business models in future. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you. And yes, next thing is the next point in expense is interest. Interest means if the company has taken loans, okay, and every year it has to pay the interest on the loans. Okay, and that is also shown in the expenses. That is the interest. Okay, then there are taxes. So the company has paid 10 lakhs in taxes, and uh, if you subtract all these expenses from the revenue, you will have net profit. Okay, now yes, let's go to line number 31. So as we all know, the number of shares is 1 lakh. Okay, and this company has made 20 lakhs in that in this particular year. So what is the earnings per share? Okay. Yeah, every share is making 20 rupees. Okay, this is just an overview. So each share that you hold is making 20 rupees. Okay, in the company. Okay, now next thing is top line and bottom line. Okay, so whatever you see in the revenue, that is a top line. So this is mostly if you see the financial news channels, right? They'll always talk about top line and bottom line. So top line always refers to this revenue or sales, and bottom line always refers to net profit or income. Okay. Now, so this is ultimately what an income statement looks like. Okay, this is all there is in the income statement, uh, except for some items may be added here. But this is overall how it will look like. Now, if we have to analyze this company, okay, just by this looking at this income statement, so can we analyze something from this, or do we need some other data to uh, analyze this, or how do we say whether this company is doing good? It's obviously making profit, but yeah, exactly. We yeah, we have to consider one is the old performance, okay, how it is doing. Second thing is how it is doing compared to other companies in the same business. So in VPCO has to compare itself with we have to compare VPCO with Nandini. Okay. That is second thing. And how do we compare? Okay, let's say if we are just comparing, we can compare it with its own old performance. Okay, if we can see net profit growing. Okay, if the net profit is growing, it we can say it is a good company. Okay, but what if I tell you, let's say this is for this year, and the next year the total sales becomes 150. Okay, the total sales becomes 150, and total cost of goods sold, let's say it becomes uh, so overall cost, okay, overall expenses here, overall expenses incurred, overall if it becomes 120, okay, let's say it is 120 overall, so the net profit will be how much? 30, right? Okay, we see that the top line is growing 70 to 150, the bottom line is also growing from 20 to 30, but can we say this company is doing good? Exactly, yes. So that is why we need to understand this in terms of percentages, right? So net profit, if we calculate it in terms of the overall revenue, okay, and next year also if we compare this net profit with in terms of overall revenue, how much how much is a percentage of profit out of overall revenues? It's called profit margin or net profit margin. If we can calculate that, okay, that will tell us how is the company doing overall, how it is managing its expenses. Okay, just by looking at the numbers alone will not tell you anything, or it can tell you the least about the company. But we have to look at the uh, percentage changes here. Okay, so that is one. Second thing is if you're comparing it with the other companies, okay, let's say Nandini, okay, they will have revenues in crores. Okay, let's say they have revenue here it is revenue is 70 lakhs, but they will have revenues in crores. Okay, how will we compare them, right? Because their revenue itself is huge. Okay, this is a small company that has just come into the market, but how do we compare them? Okay, so those things we are going to look at now. So how do how do we say whether this company is efficient, okay, in making these profits? Okay, for that we have so many margin ratios, okay, which I'll show now. First thing is just I discussed net profit margin. Okay, net prof profit margin. So how do we calculate that? So we divide uh, the net profit, okay, uh, divided by the overall sales, right, and multiplied by 100. Okay, it's about 28%. Okay, so the net profit margin here is 28%. Okay, and next year, how much is it? So you can just drag this formula. So the next year it is 20%. So here you see, even though the net profit is increasing, the net profit margin is decreasing. So 28.5 to 20. Okay, this is one of the ways which through which we can analyze a company. There are many other criteria that we will see. Okay, next thing is, let's say it had so much of cost, right? 20 lakhs in COGS, 10 lakhs in SG&A. We'll just try to break them up. Okay, and there are so many other things that we can infer from this. Okay, so first one is gross profit. Okay, we will look at item by item here. Okay, first one is the gross profit. What is gross profit? Gross profit is basically the difference between revenue and cost of goods sold. Okay, that is called gross profit. Okay, that is one. So next we are going to look at something called operating profit. Okay, what is operating profit? So it's basically revenue minus all the above things. Revenue minus COGS, SG&A, depreciation and amortization. Okay, or you can say gross profit minus uh, item number 2 and 3. Okay, that is operating profit. Okay, next is something called EBIT, uh, EBT, earnings before tax. Okay, this is whatever is earned before taxation. Okay, that is revenue minus item 1 to 4. Okay, that is earnings before tax. Yeah, and net profit is basically earnings before tax minus taxes, that is 20. So these are the different items that we're just identifying them now. What we are just trying to understand, what is a gross profit, operating profit, and earnings before tax. Okay, let me reiterate. Gross profit is revenue minus cost of goods sold. Okay, operating profit is gross profit minus SG&A and depreciation and amortization. Okay. Earnings before tax is this operating profit minus interest. Okay. So, and net profit is earnings before tax minus taxes. That is next net profit. So I hope this is clear. We are just identifying this and we will look at them next. Okay. Yeah, this is clear, right? If you have any doubts, you can ask right away because next thing will be a little more deeper. Okay, I think that is I'll take it as no doubts. Okay, now let's look at margins. So like we calculated net profit margin, okay, 20 over 70. We can calculate margins for gross profit, operating profit, earnings before tax. So that is called profit margin. So gross profit margin is GPM, which is gross profit over total sales. Okay, gross profit over total sales. That is gross profit margin. And then we have operating profit margin, pre-tax margin, and net profit margin. So these are the numbers that we see. Okay, so let's just try to intuitively understand what it is. Okay, what is gross profit margin? So gross profit margin is out of if the company is making 100 rupees, okay, out of it out of it 29 rupees is spent on cost of goods sold. 29 rupees is spent on milk. Okay, then what is operating profit margin? If the company is making 100 rupees, okay, 100 minus 50, so 50 rupees is spent on milk and the administrative expenses like employee salaries or electricity and rent and things like that. Okay, what is pre-tax margin? So out of 100 rupees that the company is making in terms of revenues, uh, about 58 rupees, okay, is spent on what? First thing is milk. Second one is salaries and other things. Third thing is uh, interest. Okay. Now, what is net profit margin? So out of 100 rupees that is sold, 100 rupees of revenue that it is making, uh, 72 rupees is spent on its expenses. Okay. And 28 rupees it's its overall profit. Okay. I hope this is clear. Okay. Let's just look at this company, how it is doing in the next year. Okay. That is 2021. So 2022. So let's look at the numbers of this company in 2022. Just like you said, right, we need to compare. Okay. Now in 2022, what this company does is revenue is 100 rupees. Okay. The cost of goods sold has gone up by five sorry 100 lakhs here. Cost of goods sold is has gone up to 25 lakhs from 20 lakhs. And the gross profit is 100 minus 25, it is 75 lakhs. SG&A has got increased 100 to 10 to 25 lakhs. Okay, depreciation has remained the same, and the interest also has remained the same, and taxes have also remained the same. Okay, now in the next year, what it is doing? So out of 100 lakhs of revenue, it is making 30 lakhs of profit. Okay, net profit margin is 30. So number of shares is 1 lakh. Earnings per share is 30 rupees. Okay. Now, just by looking at this, we cannot make out anything. So that's why we have to go to this profit margins. Okay. Now, the gross profit margin has definitely increased. Okay. uh, Right? It has increased, which is a good sign. Okay. Gross profit margin has increased, but the operating profit margin has decreased. Right? So operating profit margin has decreased, which means somewhere the company is spending more in employee expenses or selling general and administration. Okay, although the gross profit margin has increased, the operating profit margin has decreased. Next, we have pre-tax margin and net profit margin. So net profit has increased, okay, from 28% to 30%. But the one key point to look at here is operating profit margin has decreased. Okay, which means company is not efficient enough now. Okay, it is spending more on employees and other things. Okay, this is one thing that we can make out from this. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Gross profit margin is good. Okay. So it has increased from 71. See, there is another way of looking at it. Okay. Uh, what we can say is if the company is selling 100 rupees worth of milk products, 71 is rupees is the overall cost involved in that. We can think of it that way as well. Sorry, not 71. Yeah, it has a margin of 71%. Okay, so what is GPM calculation? What we are doing is we are dividing gross profit by the revenue or sales. Okay, 50 by 70 we are doing, right? So if the gross profit is more, okay, if the gross profit is more, it's a good sign, right? So uh, does it make sense? Hmm, hmm. Okay, so I think you're getting confusing the cost and the gross profit here since they are in the same table. So what is gross profit? Gross profit is nothing but 70 minus 20, right? That is 50. Okay. If this 50 becomes, if 50 increases and in the next quarter, right? Assume that you have same cost of goods sold. If the cost of goods sold itself is 20 in the next year, okay. If this 50 becomes more, okay, 50 becomes 55 or 55 or 60, okay, which means keeping the same cost, right? Your profit is increasing. So that is why gross profit is increasing. Gross profit is a good thing, good sign. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Exactly. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Hmm. Yes. Yes. So we can look at it here as here directly. So if you make in the next year also, right? If the cost of goods is again uh, 20, okay, then the gross profit becomes 80. From 50, it has jumped to 80, right? Directly. Why is that? The revenue has increased. Okay. Okay. Let's keep it 25 again. Okay. ಹಾ ಸರಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಹಾ ಸರಿ. ಬಾಯ್. ಹ್ಮ್. ಬಾಯ್ ಬಾಯ್. ಹ್ಮ್. Yeah. Sorry guys. So where was I? Yeah. We were discussing about this. So higher the gross profit margin, right? The better it is. Okay. And higher these profit margins, it's always better. Higher the better. But what we see is in this example, the gross profit margin has increased, but the operating profit margin has decreased, which means there is something wrong here. So what is that wrong thing? Uh, so what we see here, if you go back here, the SG&A has increased from 10 to 25. Okay, that is the reason operating profit margin has decreased. Okay, which means some companies spending more somewhere else. Yeah, yeah. People ask for salary hikes and things like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything it's all related actually. Uh, so, you see. Hmm, Hmm. Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we can directly see here. See, what is the difference between GPM and OPM? Gross profit margin and operating profit margin. The difference is 21% here, which means the company is spending 21% in SG&A. Okay, but this has become how much here? 30%. Clear, right? Mm. Yeah. Now between OPM and PTM, it was 8%. Now it has become just 5%. Okay. I mean that we can go back and check here the interest because the interest has remained the same. Okay. So overall, it's all related to this income statement itself. So you have to go back and check. Okay. So higher the margins, the better it is. And if you see something off, you have to go back and check uh, what consumed it. Okay. What I'll do next is I'll take you guys through an income statement. There's a website called Screener. Okay. You can always go and check. So this is Godavari Power and ISPAT Limited. Okay. We have so many parameters here. Okay. We will see each of them. Okay. Before that, I wanted to talk about something, one more thing. Okay. There is something called PE. Okay. There's something called PE, price to earning. PE. Okay. What is PE? So PE is basically the ratio of the market price by earnings per share. Okay. This is basically what PE is. Okay. This is a parameter that people usually look at. Okay. How is the PE? So in our case, what is the PE? Let's say the market price of the stock is how much? We said 1,000 rupees, right? By earnings per share. Earnings per share is 20, right? The PE, okay, this is in, should not be in percentages. Okay, I have to change the format. So what is the PE? 1,000 by 20, 50, right? Price of one share. Okay. So earnings per share is 20. We had 1 lakh shares and it is making 20 lakhs of profit. So earnings per share is 20, but price to earnings per share ratio is 50, which simply means in simple words, for every rupees that the company is making, the investors are putting 50 rupees in premium in the stock. Yeah. So earnings per share, did you understand? So net profit divided by total number of shares, earnings per share. Now, PE is market price of one share divided by earnings per share. Market price is whatever is the price that is in the stock market, the current price of the stock. Okay. Yeah. For yeah. Yeah, earnings per share will be in yeah, in the income statement. We have net income, right? Net income divided by number of shares. If you see the formula here, what I have just done is net income by yeah, number of shares. That is which means each share is earning 20 rupees in simple words. Mm, okay. Now, price to earning PE is market price of the share divided by earnings per share. Okay. Which is market, if the market price is 1,000 rupees and earnings per share is 20, the PE is 50 rupees. Sorry, 50, P is 50. Okay, it is not, it doesn't have unit. Okay, what it simply means is for every rupees that the company is earning, the investors are putting 50 rupees for that, 50 rupees to earn that 1 rupee. Eh, So is that clear? Fo- Yeah, that is what we will discuss next. Okay, if it is more, it is obviously not good, right? Because for every 1 rupee it is the company is making, if your investor is taking like 1,000 rupees, okay, that is not so good. Hmm. And lower it is the better, but lower would also indicate the company may not be performing well, or it is doing something bad in its business. That's also a possibility, or the company may not be having a good potential to grow in the future. Okay, there should be some medium PE. Okay, so that is PE, price to earning. Okay, and and that's what we see here. I'll just explain a few of this. So I'm in the screener page. So market cap is basically the market price. So the current price into number of shares. Okay. So the current price here is 1136. If you multiply by the number of shares of this company in the market, you will get the market capital, market cap. Okay. And here high and low will simply say the 52 week, 1 year, what is the high of this stock and the low price of this stock, lowest and the highest. Okay, and the stock PE here is 3.90. This is what we just discussed. Okay, for every 1 rupee that the company is generating, so investors are putting 3.9 rupees. Okay, and we'll discuss others, book value, dividend yield, and all these things later on. But for now, if you understand that this four, it is sufficient. Huh. Huh. Uh, no, no, no. He will not get 4.91 rupee to him. What he's saying is he has a confidence. So it's basically for every 1 rupee that the company is making, right? So the investor has invested 3.9 rupees. Okay. Next year, this P can become 5. Okay. Which means for every 1 rupee that the company is making, the investor has put 5 rupees from his pocket. Okay. It may not, you may get little confused, but as you read and go through it, right, you will understand. So yes, if you have any other questions on P, I can answer. Hmm. 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 Ha, exactly. Hmm. Ha. Hmm. 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 Right. Yeah. If you're investing, so currently if you invest right in this company, what you're saying is for every 1 rupee that this company makes, I'm going to put 3.9 rupees. Now next year, if next year if the if the PE increases to 5, okay, what it simply means, if someone is buying it next year, okay, he's paying 5 rupees for every 1 rupee that the company is making. Hmm. Hmm. 3.9 times its initial, yeah, we can say that. Yeah, that is one other way of looking at it. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. P basically indicates, it's an indication of how expensive, how or how cheap the stock is. Exactly. So higher P means the stock is more expensive. Yeah. Yes. So what we need to do is we can compare this PE across the industry. It's compare it with peers and things like that. But before that, I'll just go through here. So let's see what's there in this page. Okay. So here we have a list. We have a price chart. Okay, of this company from September to today. You can change it here, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. This is the price. Okay, it was 351 in November, and it is currently 1136. Okay. Then there is something called PE ratio. Okay, this is basically the PE ratio of this company. And if you see here, we have earnings per share and PE listed here. And this was down for some time, and it came up and things like that. Okay. And there is something called median PE. So what this website does is, it takes all this data of PEs and gives us an average PE, and that is somewhere around 4 here. If you can see that dotted dashed line, right? So the median P is 4.4. Okay, it's here. Median P is 4.4, and currently the PE of the company is 3.9. And we can comparatively say this stock is, you are getting the stock at a cheaper rate now. Okay, the median was 4.4, and this stock's P is 3.9, which is a way to say that this stock is relatively cheaper compared to its own past records. Okay, so that's what we see. And next thing is sales and margin, and this is what we saw in the income statement. I'll just go for 1 year. Okay, so in the down, right, you have GPM, OPM, NPM, and quarter sales. Okay, quarter sales is overall sales or revenue it has done. And what is GPM? Gross profit margin. So that is here in the red. Okay. And OPM is in yellow and NPM is in green. So if you see currently, the gross profit margin has increased. Okay. The operating profit margin has also increased, and the net profit margin has also increased. And this is the reason. Okay. This is the reason the price is increasing. Okay. The price has increased in the last 1 year. The price has increased, and here we see the price decreasing. Why is that? We can take a wild guess. It could be because the overall sales has decreased. Okay. Do you see this correlation now between this profit margins and the price? Okay. In the last 1 year, what has happened is the price has gone up from 300 to 1600, right? This is a huge increase. So why did that increase? That increased because in the last 1 year, this company has done exceptionally well. Okay, its overall revenue has increased. Okay, overall revenue has increased, and that has got reflected in the stock price. And but in the last quarter, its revenue has decreased. Okay, and that is why we see a dip here in the last quarter. Okay, so that's about this. And then will directly go to the profit and loss statement. We'll analyze the things later on. Okay. This is the profit and loss statement of each year. So there is also quarterly profit and loss statement which we can look at, but we'll just look at this profit and loss statement. So we have sales, and this website gives the year on year sales growth from last year to this year. How much is the sale is growing? It compares with the last year to this year. So in March 2021, the sales has grown by 24%, which means 3270 to 4061 is 24% increase. Okay, that is the sales growth. And then there are expenses, so many expenses. So they give percentage for the. This is basically cost of goods. So yeah, this is cost of goods sold plus SG&A. Cost of goods sold is here, material cost. SG&A is here, manufacturing cost, employee cost, and other costs. Okay, and they give the operating profit margin here. Okay, so operating profit is 1129, sales is 4061, so operating profit margin is 30%. Okay, then the company could have other incomes, like it may have invested in some other companies and things like that. That is listed, and this is the interest that they pay on the loans. This is the depreciation on the machinery, and they give the profit before tax, and then there will be tax percentage. And if you subtract tax from profit before tax, you will get net profit. Okay, 638. And earnings per share, if you see the earnings per share, it is 181. Okay, so 638, what they have done, 638 divided by the total number of shares, that is 181. Okay, if you see here, the earnings per share has been growing for the first 4 years, but that got dropped once, and it went to negative. So what is this negative earning per share? What does this indicate? Why will huh, exactly, it's making a loss. If you see net profit, right, it is minus 89, which means it is making a loss. Okay, that is why EPS has become negative. Okay, should fall. Yeah, yeah, yes. Maybe we can check the 2016 to 17. Let's see what happened in 2016 to 17. If we can see that, yeah, 16 to 17. Okay, I don't see anything here. So are we looking at the right one? Hmm. Yeah, it will not depend on that directly on this. Yeah, you're right. It will depend on some other parameters. We'll need to check what they did. Why was there so much of this? If you see, right, operating profit margin was increasing, but what happened? What did they do compared to this? Can you guess what it is? Okay, the sales had dropped uh, 2,700, but the expenses had increased. When expenses have not matched the sales. Okay, and operating profit is 291. Yeah, we'll have to look at it, why this happened, but it can go negative. So this net profit can be, if it is negative, we say it is in loss. Okay. So next thing I want to discuss is, so this is what we just discussed in the Excel sheet as well. Okay. And then there are so many things that we'll discuss later on. But other thing is we can compare it with peer. How is this stock doing compared to other uh, companies in the same industry? So if you see, one thing that people always look at is PE. Okay, so PE is 3.9, and okay, so PE is 3.9. But if you see the PE of other all other companies, okay, so one company is making 36, so it is too expensive. Okay, compared to this company. But we have to go and look at how that company is doing. Okay, so we'll see the sector. We'll go to the sector. Okay, so we have so many companies here in the same sector, and we can compare. And if you okay, log into this account, right, you can see. Let me just log in here. So let's go to Godavari. Okay, what I want to show is what is the average of PE of the peers. Okay, okay. There is something called industry P which you can add. Okay, so industry price to earning is 13.9 or 14 rupees. Okay, industry's P is 14 and you are getting this at 3.9, which means this stock is comparatively cheap. Okay, but if you look at others like Ratnamani Metals, so the P is 36, but industry P is 14, right? Which means it's quite expensive at this moment. Okay, this is one way you can analyze. Okay, yes, that's all I had. So, yeah, in the interest of time, what we are going to do in the next session is we are going to look at this from the through the eyes of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, as you know, he's the greatest investor of all time. People regard to him as the greatest investor of all time. He believes in something called value investing, and he sees so many things when analyzing these financial statements. Right? He looks at certain parameters. Okay, and we are going to look at them. Okay, we are going to look at them in the next session. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because it is already 5:20. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah. So I hope things were kind of clear, but you can always go back and check. You can go back and do your own homework, analyze these things. You can read about it in Investopedia or Google. Okay. Yeah, things may have, I mean, you may have got confused a little, but uh, you can always read about it. I'll share this slide and uh, access and the recording. Okay. If you have any doubts, we can discuss now or in the next session as well. Yeah, yeah, there was a question. Subramanya.